In this section, we're going to be comparing improper fractions and mixed numbers, and we're also going to be ordering them. So this first one here we're going to be taking a look at is 7 over 4, which is an improper fraction, and we want to know if it is greater than, less than, or equal to 1 1/4, which is a mixed number. Now, you can convert an improper fraction into a mixed number and then compare, which, you know, in this case might actually be the simpler method. But what I want you to do is I want you to be converting your mixed numbers into improper fractions for this purpose, you'll be able to see why here in the next section. But that's what we're going to do first. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our 1 1/4, and we know that that really means 1 plus 1/4. And now what we know is that since we are going over 4, we can change this to 4 over 4. Okay, because that's the same as 4 over 4 is the same as saying 1. Okay, now we're going to add in our 1/4, and that gives us a total of 5 over 4. So since we know that this is the same as saying 5 over 4, we know that 7 over 4 is clearly greater than 5 over 4, so therefore 7 over 4 is also greater than 1 1/4. Alright, this section will start to illustrate why it is I think that it's a good idea when we're comparing improper fractions to mixed numbers, that it's a good idea to change your mixed number into an improper fraction. Well, here we've got a situation where we've got 7 over 4 and we're comparing that to 1 1/3. We want to figure out which one is greater or if they are equal. So let's start off by converting 1 1/3 into an improper fraction. So we can do that one of two ways. We can either say 1 1/3 is the same as saying 1 plus 1/3, which is the same as saying 3 over 3 plus 1/3, which is the same as saying 4/3. Or we could do the shortcut method, which is simply to say 1 times 3 is 3, and then add the numerator, in which case it is 4 over 3. Alright, so now what we've got is we've got a situation where we've got 7 over 4, and we're comparing that to 4 over 3. But now we've got a situation where we've got two unlike denominators. So this denominator and this denominator are not the same. So we have to make them the same. So what we have to do is we have to find our lowest common multiple between the two of them. And that's what we're going to multiply each side by in order to change this fraction to something that we can work with. So if we imagine here times 1 times 2 times 3 times 4, and this is what the lowest common multiple is. So if we have down here, we have 3 and 4. Now all we have to do is just think of our times table or skip counts. So we got 6, 9, 12, and over here we've got 8, 12, 16. Well, as you can see, our lowest common multiple here is clearly 12. So if we are going to change this one here, this denominator to 12, that means we're going to have to multiply it by 3. So what we do to the bottom, we also have to do to the top. And this now becomes 21 over 12. And then this section over here, we have to figure out, well, what do we have to multiply 3 by? Well, what we're going to have to multiply 3 by is 4. So this becomes 16 over 12. And now you can see our two denominators actually are the same, both 12s, and we can clearly see that 21 over 12 is larger than 16 over 12. So that being said, we can say honestly that 7 over 4 is the same as saying 21 over 12, and since 21 over 12 is greater than 16 over 12, and 16 over 12 is the same as saying 1 1/3, we can also say that 7 over 4 is greater than 1 1/3.